Hello, welcome to episode 3 of Re-Record. This week I'm going to try Happiness is a Warm Gun by the Beatles from the White Album. I've thought a lot about this song over the years when I've been writing my own music and stuff, just because I think this is a great example of something which clearly was born from a very free-form way of songwriting, and then taken into the studio and worked on by people who were kind of really open for experimenting and open for making the weirdness into something understandable and simple. You can kind of feel the chunks being chipped away, you know, the chunks of marble being chipped away to reveal something very simple and very potent. I'm really looking forward to doing it. I think it's probably going to be quite tricky, actually. I don't think it's going to work for me to use any kind of click track or anything. So I'm basically going to use the original recording as my tempo map. So I'll play a guitar and vocal guide along with the original, and then I'll just use that. And then at least it'll kind of speed up in the right places, and it'll have some sort of feel of the original, because I think if I do it to a click track, it's just going to sound really shit, I think. And because it's just me on my own, yeah, I don't know, hard for me to create the energy of a living, breathing, moving band on my own. So this is probably the next best thing. Anyway, we'll find out, won't we? So without further ado, I'm going to put down a guide, and we will find out if happiness is a warm gun.
She's not a girl who misses much.
Okay, so I've got like a kind of template thing for the song. Now I'm going to do the kind of finger-picked guitar, which on the recording it sounds either like it's going through a slow Leslie speaker, which is what I'm going to do, or it's with some ADT, which is like automatic double tracking using 2 tape machines. Pretty complicated to actually do it for real. I've got a plug-in which does it as well. I want to try the Leslie thing because it's more fun. I'll put a link below as to what ADT was, if you're interested, which, I mean, it's very interesting, so yeah, be interested. Anyway, I'm going to play my 60s Gibson 125 TC. That's going to go through my Medusa head guitar amp, which I built, which on another video you can see how I built that. That's going into my Hammond organ, which is an M100, and then that goes out into the Leslie speaker. So, Leslie'd guitar.
She's well acquainted with the touch of a velvet hand, like a lizard on a window pane. The man in the crowd with the multicolored berries on his thumbnails.
Okay, so I've got one Leslie guitar and one guitar with ADT. I think together they sound pretty cool. Check it out. So the drums, I have my wallet and a tea towel on the snare, a tea towel on the rack tom. I think it's just ragtime on this song. One, two, three, four. Okay, literally 100 takes of drums later, and I think I have something vaguely, which isn't an insult. She's not a girl who misses much. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Oh yeah. She's well acquainted with the touch of a velvet hand, like a lizard on a window pane. The man in the crowd with the multicolored mirrors on his hobnail boots, lying with his eyes while his hands are busy working overtime. A sort impression of his wife which he ate and donated to the National Trust. Cause I'm going down to the bits that I left.
the town. I need a fix 'cause I'm going down. Mother Superior, jump the gun. 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 Happiness is a warm gun. Happiness is a warm gun, mama. When I hold you in my arms and I feel my finger on your trigger, I know nobody can do me no harm because it's a warm gun, mama. Happiness is a warm gun, yes it is. Happiness is a warm, yes it is. Don't you know that happiness is a warm gun, mama?
Okay. I'm slightly traumatized after that. That was really difficult. That was like really, really hard. But it was really amazingly interesting as well. And yeah, what a song. Incredible arrangement, incredible writing. Just every single element in it is, it's like it's been chipped away at and just made super potent. And yeah, it's really, it just really sounds like people on top of their game, like big time on top of their game, and confident, just so confident, so amazingly confident, but also very kind of also very, very human and very vulnerable and lots of adjectives. Yeah, anyway, that was really a serious experience trying to do that. I hope I've done it justice. Yeah, so I'm gonna put the mix up on my Patreon, and I'm also going to put the stems up on my Patreon as well. And for all of these episodes, I'm going to put the stems on Patreon as well. So if you want to use my drums or whatever you want for something like that, then yeah, sign up to my Patreon and help yourself. Yeah, thank you very much for tuning in and watching this. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. And yeah, I'm going to stick around a little bit and do a little mix rundown again for anyone that's interested in how I mixed this. But other than that, sorry, I am traumatized. Oh, that was really intense. I really blew my voice out doing the vocals, and then I had to do all the backing vocals, and they're a little bit ropey, but I mean, I think it sounds okay. But yeah, my chest is killing me. Anyway, I hope you like it, and yeah, stick around for the mix stuff, and everybody else, I'll see you next time. Right, so on the drums, basically, yeah, it's so interesting to try and copy stuff from that era, late 60s, because it was like people were still kind of using the same technology, sort of, that had been around for like 10 or 15 years or something, but it was evolving. I think the White Album was the first of the Beatles albums that they had an 8-track, but still everything is just, it's like valves, and I think it's just stuff like pushed to its limit. Everything's so distorted, and it just sounds amazing, but it sounds like it's at the limit of where it can go. And to try and make digital stuff sound like that is quite a challenge. It's like totally the opposite. But luckily there are some good plugins these days, of which my absolute favourite is this guy. So I've been using this all over the place on this mix. Let's see now. On the drums, on the kick drum, I basically have just a little bit of low end boost and a bit of compression as well on this SSL. On the snare, I have a decapitator, which is just juicing it a little bit, giving it a bit more bite, cutting a bit of bottom end off. The under snare, I've just band passed it for some reason. A lot of this is just me kind of like throwing stuff at it as I'm recording, and then a lot of the stuff just stays behind. Okay, then the overheads have a decapitator on, a little bit of overdrive there, taking the top end off pretty steeply, which is, if you listen to old recordings, often there's very little top end, or the top end is kind of, it's like all the top end is kind of crushed into like a kind of pile with the actual top cut off, but everything's just sort of squashed up there. So you get this really nice distortion, but not actually that much top end. Then it's got this M-Juck compressor, which I think is nice and kind of sloppy, like a slow sort of, a bit like those modified Altec compressors that they used in Abbey Road in the 60s, or Fairchild kind of thing, just this kind of slow thing. And then just a little top end boost, I guess, to bring some back. Then these are the hi-hat and crash overdubs that I did. Probably actually the same EQ settings, I just would have left it so that it sounds like it's all one thing. And then all of the drums go into this bus, which has a wow control, which is saturating a lot, adding a bit of tape noise, a little bit of wobble. It has its own reverb. I just randomly chose this ISO booth just to give the drums a bit more of a dry vibe, because I thought I could hear a bit too much in my big room. Anyway, it's probably unnecessary. And then another decapitator just to round it off. Again, a little bit of a top end boost, which is already gone, the top end's gone, so it's like, you're kind of boosting something which is not really there anymore, but it ends up, you get this nice kind of saturated thing. Bass, I've got a little bit of a low end boost thing there with the R bass, but then decapitator, make it a bit, just to run it through the circuit basically. A lot of high end boost. This was the thing with the bass sound on this, it's super like clicky high end, so you hear it, all the attack from the bass. So I've got a lot of high end boost here, and then a massive presence boost at like 3.5. Then more EQ here, like tons and tons of mid-range EQ, 900, and then a low end thing. And then through another, through a compressor at the end, this purple, which is quite aggressive sounding. The tambourine just has a wow control on it, just to make it sit a bit better. Lots of saturation on there. Then we get to the lead guitar, the Les lead guitar at the beginning. So the one that was actually going through the Leslie, that just has a little bit of top end boost on it. The other one, which is the ADT, has this ADT plugin and a decapitator, boosting a bit of top end, turning the tone up, but cutting all the top end off so it stays really kind of mushy. And then a wow control again. And then both of those get bussed into this compressor, which is kind of squashing them quite a lot, 12-1. The waltz guitar, the I need a fix, cause I doom jig, jig, doom jig, that bit, That has a decapitator on it. Take the top end off, boost the top end through the circuit, the Neve circuit, cut a lot of the low end off, through a wow control again. Similar sort of thing, super saturated. I think you're seeing a pattern developing here. The Hammond at the beginning, which is almost inaudible, that's just got a wow control. The stab guitar that comes in, that amazing, like stabbing, glassy guitar, that's got a big high boost and another high boost. Wow control, saturating it more, and then slammed through this compressor. I've actually used no reverb, interestingly, just by the way. This track is completely free of any reverb. Or is it? Haha. Okay, the piano has a tiny little bit, but that's just a mistake, but it's fine. Yeah, there's no delay on the vocal. Like it's all just totally dry, which I think is a testament to the arrangement of this song. Is that it's so kind of action packed that adding reverb would just sort of dilute it or something. So I think I read that often with Beatles recordings they didn't really use much reverb, and I think it's maybe it's a good exercise for arrangers and stuff to when you're recording, you know, just leave the reverb off and try and get the arrangement filling the space in the right way without reverb. I don't know, good exercise possibly. The lead guitar, which I'm super proud of that sound actually. That's I mean, a lot of the guitar sounds is from the amp, which I showed you when I was recording it, what I was using. But yeah, the lead guitar has this decapitator, more EQ, like a big presence boost thing there, wow control, and a slamming compressor, big surprise. There you go, it's all the same. The piano, which is very faint, decapitator to drive it, and then an ADT to kind of warble it up a little bit. The vocal chain is decapitator. There's three different vocal, there's like, the lead vocal is split onto two tracks so that I can change the panning and the sound slightly between the sections, and then the double track comes in, but generally I'm just going to flip through these and show you what's going on. So there's just this M-Jut compressor, a wow control, and then on the main vocal from the beginning, decapitator, super bright, cutting the top end off, compressor, presence boost, just to get the kind of raspiness out, wow control again, and then with the BV, the double track, I've brought back in a lot of the low ends, so when that double track comes in, you get a kind of beefiness from it, which is this low end here. Compressor, wow control, and then the BVs, all these six here, they're all being bussed to here, which is decapitator, another compressor. I haven't used this one much recently, but it's cool, it's a distressor, it's pretty good. And a wow control there, and yeah, just no reverb, it's amazing. And on the mix I have soft tube tape, which is not really doing anything other than just being a bit tapey. And then I have a wow control, which I am saturating a little bit, color here, saturation, more noise, blah blah blah, it all adds to it. Tape hiss just gives it a vibe. Anyway, I am totally exhausted and my chest is killing me. So yeah, thanks for sticking around for the mix breakdown, and please send in suggestions. I don't know what I'm going to do for the next one. I've got some ideas, but yeah, send in some suggestions, and yeah, sign up to my Patreon, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and yeah, I'll see you soon.